Hi. If you've been having a deep pain in through this region that feels like an emotional pain, and that you haven't been able to cry about it or um, haven't been able to resolve it, or kind of it just feels so deep that you can't put your finger on it, what it is. I did a meditation for you today, and I have to write notes because if I don't, then when I come back and be able to really talk in a conversational tone, it just like goes off into the wind. So here we go. So what I did was went into the past and into the present and look for solutions for the future for you. So here's what it is and what I found. So it seems like your past that you have been in a kind of a bound position and felt almost imprisoned, like you can't get out, like this is just really confined. And the thing about confinement is it gives you a chance to think. And so a lot of times people really don't like confinement. It can feel very enclosing and like you're not free, but we're always free. We just don't know it. So if we don't use our time when we feel confined to be able to reflect and to realize that we've always been free, that the jail is the illusion, so to speak, then we stay confined. So that's your more distant past, and but it's unfortunately still coming into your present. So the other thing that you also know is that you do have support. You have felt support. You felt like you felt your spirit. And so that's why it's been so confusing for you, is because I feel my spirit, but yet I feel confined and I can't get out of this feeling of kind of, I'm in a dang jail cell. So what you also have had in your past that you've also realized is you've had supportive people, or you've had or felt support from the seen or the unseen, whether it's who you've worshipped or like a family member, someone on this plane, the family member or a friend or something like that. You've had that. So what you've done is you've used that support from outside and seen that as your only support, and haven't used your own inner support up to this point because you've been so concentrated on being confined. So in your present, what's still perpetuating this is a male influence that you feel confines you of some sort, like an authoritarian figure, or they don't have to be gender male, but like, just that outward oppressive kind of force that's feels like it's keeping you confined still. The thing is that you're focusing on that versus what's in your own best interest, what's good for you. We're trained to think that we're not supposed to advocate for ourselves in a way. We're only supposed to think of others, but if we don't take care of ourselves, then we can't take care of anyone else. If we're out of gas, so to speak, then we have an empty tank. We can't go anywhere. We can't do anything. So you have to be able to have time that you take for yourself and realize, no, I take care of myself so that I then can go out and do what I feel is the stirring of my heart. So with that, you don't want to hold back. Right now you're using that as maybe an excuse to hold back, even though you think, oh no, it's so real. It's not an excuse. Everything's an illusion. So even though it seems so real. So With that in mind, how are you going to do that? Well, you go to your heart center, and your heart center, unfortunately, right now, also feels blocked. You know, so that's partly because of this, and it just feels like you're not feeling your joy rise. So again, that's an easy, when I say easy, it's simple, right, but the thing is going to be ease. What this is a blockage, and there's like a little bridge here between who you feel you are and your heart and your connection to all, and you're realizing there's more to reality than just this limited view of this earth. So going into your heart's going to be a big thing here in your present, and you're realizing that potentially, but still feel that blockage. How are you going to be able to do that? Well, it's going to be balance. The key for you is balance, and you may be even getting glimmers of that, like, yes, that's what I've been thinking. Well, good, because this is in your present. So how are you going to have balance? Well, you have to live a more balanced lifestyle. You have to eat right. You have to sleep. You have to take care of the physical body, get plenty of good water in, cut out the junk food or the food that isn't vibrant, which are usually packaged foods. These are all simple things, I know. So what's the inner balance, right? Because you potentially, even though you feel that real stuck spot, which is like a very yin thing, so to speak, a very dense thing, how do you get rid of something dense? You have to add some energy into it, so you're going to have to move too. I wouldn't go into a punishing type of movement. That's something that doesn't feel really good for you. Do something that feels really freeing to you, not something that takes you into your ego, something that brings you more into your body, that brings in a sense of movement in your body, not your head, so to speak. So this isn't about taking on an external idea of what's going to make you better. This is something you're doing for yourself that allows you to go into your heart. And realize when you're doing that, when you're doing this movement, when you're eating, that this is good coming into you, and that you're actually doing this for yourself. This is part of strengthening your ability to get yourself out of jail, to let yourself out, to realize I've had the key all along. So while doing that, your future comes just as it is right now. Your future has happened after this last second went by. So how are you going to do that? You're going to do that through creativity. So as you start to balance, you are going to feel potentially more creative. And if you've maybe had huge glimpses, maybe small glimpses, but this is what's going to get you through it. And so doing something creative, and it doesn't have to be art or whatever. It may be seeing your life in a different way. It may be seeing who you felt was oppressive from a different light. So letting go of old stories. What is creativity? It's not holding on to the same story, right? Creativity is finding something that's new for you in a way, something unique, something that you haven't thought of before. And while you're doing that, you want it to be uplifting and comforting. That's going to be very, very important. So you don't want to, bring in blame or anything like that. That's just going to put you back in prison. It's going to be more, how do I understand this on a deeper level? How do I see my life being different than it is right now? Questions like that. If I was going to have a perfect day, what would that perfect day be? Who would I interact with? What would my life look like? So with that, you are either potentially in a contract right now or contracted. So whether it's a marriage, whether it's probably on a piece of paper to take care of someone, a job, a non-disclosure agreement, something that feels legal or feels binding, that you can't, some sort of promise that you feel like you can't get out of. and that this promise feels like it's holding you back. And it's going to continue to do that here in your future, potentially. So the thing about contracts, they say every contract can be broken, but it's not just that, really. That's not what is being encouraged of you. What's really being encouraged is to see opportunity, because every contract offers an opportunity of some sort. So it may be your own personal growth, it may be you trusting yourself in this, and maybe your trust being able to do it. If it's an extremely unhealthy situation, it may be trusting to get out. It may, in a safe way. But realize first, before you do anything about your contract, is that you have to set yourself free first. You have to trust yourself first to be able to then set yourself free, okay? And then from there, here's the problem with trusting yourself now and into the future, is because there's been this blockage here, because it's been so hard to go into your heart and really feel your heart because it's felt so hurt and confined, you felt like your intuition, your ability to see into your future might have been a little bit blocked, right? But let's go back to your past where you've been supported, right? If you take that support, the outer world support, so to speak, and it doesn't have to be from humans, or it can be from nature, it can be from the animal kingdom, someone that you feel love from, or, the divine, whatever, realize that is you. Everything you feel is you. So you're not going to get anything from anyone else. When you start to go and start to realize that, and you bring it into your heart, and you realize that you're at one with all the good. And if you're not feeling the good, you're identifying with what's not you. Start to relax and see what is you. What is you has nothing to do with power. What is you has nothing to do with something happening before you get to feel good. You get to feel good when you reach you already. Okay, you don't have to do anything to get it. You already are it. And so when you start to go into that space, and even if you can't even hardly feel a smidgen of it, let the sun warm your skin, or let the beauty of a flower touch your heart, something that feels safe, where you can start to realize, I'm the one that feels this beauty right now. I'm the one that feels this warmth. And it has nothing to do with my personality or what I do or for a living or who I'm married to or anything like that. It's all outside of you. When you do that, then you'll start to be able to go into the deeper heart, because you have two hearts, actually. You have a heart here and you have a heart here, right? And I'm not talking your brain, and I'm not talking the mental part, and I'm not talking the person that says, hi, I'm. So that's all the work that is required to free yourself. And what really, in the end, is the outcome of all of this is going to be self-expression. You first have to be honest with yourself. You can't believe the lies that you've been told about yourself, or what you've tried to mold yourself into or fit into. You are yourself, and you are enough. And so it's not an outward thing. It's an inward realizing. And so when you do that, then you allow that's going to move from the heart up to you being able to speak from that place. Speak the good that you are. There is so much that feels not good, and if you focus on that, you become, you think you become that, but you've always been good. And so when you start to hang out with the good within yourself, then you start to trust the good within yourself, because that good will always tell you the truth and never want harm for you or anyone else. And And then you start to realize, oh, I can start this is going to be what issues from me, right? This in through my word, and then that of course is action as well. So that's where you're headed, is speaking your truth and being your truth, and you're on a beautiful journey.